Gaming Addiction presents Top 5 Games That Deserved a Sequel. Mad Max was such a sleeper hit when it came out. No one expected anything special was going to happen when it was announced, and although the game suffers from repetitive gameplay, it ended up being one of my great experiences in an open world. The story was standard Mad Max plot, character development, but honestly, it didn't need to be anything more. A man stripped of his beloved machine in the opening cutscene put in motion this driving force for the remainder of the game. It had decent graphics that honestly still hold up today with a stable frame rate, and when you think about open worlds in the desert, how fun can that be? Well, it was. It was fun driving around, getting into car combat, collecting parts, taking down outposts, and upgrading your car and Max. But the thing that absolutely stand out the most, the combat. Oh, the beautiful, hard-hitting combat. Every punch, kick, body slam was just so fierce and satisfying. So come on, WB, get your stuff together and give us a sequel. Thief 4. Okay, hold on. Hear me out. Thief had very mixed reviews, but I was one of the gamers that really enjoyed this game. The stealth was so slick, and I just loved snatching cash and loot off unsuspecting guards on patrol, breaking into houses, figuring out how to turn off traps, lockpicking, and a good parkour system. Thief 4 was a good experience for me. It had some technical issues, it did, but it was just my cup of tea, is what I was looking for in a stealth game.
There are a few things left to savor in this city, like the smell of a newly opened vault. Good job no one memorized this thing.
The challenges were a blast, and it was even good at challenging yourself at replaying the story and trying to be a ghost or a predator. Good times, and if they had more time to tweak some of the technical issues, I'm sure this game would have got more praise. I just would like more stealth games like this, so I think this one deserves a sequel. Mafia III. Yes, I said it. And yes, I absolutely loved this flawed game. The story is definitely the strongest aspect. I'm such a sucker for revenge plots. But honestly, that wasn't the only selling point for me with Mafia 3. I love the 60s. So playing an open world game where I could be jamming Sam Cooke on the radio is a huge selling point for me. But honestly, it wasn't just that. I love the way the cars handled in this game, fun chase and escape sequences, good weapon handling and upgrades. And the stealth is really spot on with some really, really good cinematic takedowns. I mean, they are just absolutely brutal in this game. Although this game at launch wasn't great, I will say for someone who's buying the game for the first time, if you are considering a playthrough, that this game with all the 3 DLCs tied together really break up that repetitive gameplay. So maybe take a chance on that. And here's hoping we get Mafia 4. Sleeping Dogs will go down in history as one of my favorite open world games that I ever played. It wasn't just the sandbox elements that shine, but the story as well. The dialogue and the characters were so well written, and every time I revisit the game, I immediately become immersed over and over again. The combat was so unique. I mean, I know every game borrows from the Batman series, but Sleeping Dogs really found its own rhythm. As for the cars, alright, the car handling wasn't that great, but you do get used to it over time. And the races were a blast, and buying cars from garages and everything was a great time. Not to mention the detective elements. They were so great, and the missions that were structured to play as an undercover and main cop. The definitive edition really put life back into this game for a short while. Well, for a long time for a fan like me. And honestly, just talking about the game and looking through footage again, I've beaten this game 5 to 6 times. I'm thinking the 7th playthrough is on the horizon because this game was one of a kind and it stood out differently from GTA in so many aspects, and a sequel would have been amazing. Alien Isolation, one of the most underrated first-person horror games that I played this generation. The quality in this game is top-notch. The exploration is so satisfying. And the alien is absolutely terrifying. This game is just dripping with atmosphere. Even the first couple of chapters before you even come across the alien is so captivating, eerie, and immersive. It had a bunch of mini games like hacking and using a blowtorch and just a bunch of other upgrades that you acquire over the game, and it just added to the atmosphere. I mean, atmosphere is everything in this game. And not only that, I enjoyed playing as Ripley. I liked her character. I enjoyed all the characters, honestly. It really felt like I stepped into a time machine and went back to the 70s. That's what made everything even more stressful and enjoyable because it just tied it to the movies so well. So while I'm hiding, let's take a moment to wish we had another Alien game.